I'm Michael. I did a semester abroad in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. I had kind of a unique situation where my mom is Brazilian, so I have like Brazilian family, and I kind of wanted to go and actually like live there instead of just kind of visiting them. And it also happened to be the school that my mom got her master's at. So it was just a lot of kind of cool things that lined up together, and they had a really good program. You had to take at least a year of Portuguese before going abroad, so I had that to be a little more formally used to the language. So I could understand most like common stuff and like be able to go out or go get dinner stuff and do fine. But then going there, the program started with like a 1-month intensive Portuguese program. They kind of actually really drilled the rules of the language, because that's not something that I ever had really learned that formally. So that really helped. And then going on and doing all my classes in Portuguese got me used to like talking about things from my field of study actually in another language. Every week there was something going on every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and there's the different parts of the town that had different things going on. Museums and stuff around the city that are free to all students. And then obviously there's the beaches, which is where we spent a lot of our time, day or night. Public transportation in Rio is actually awesome. There's buses that get you like all over the whole state. There's also an awesome metro system that just kind of ran within the city. So the metro system was one of my favorite parts of being there. It was really easy to get around, it was pretty intuitive, and like I said, it was pretty cheap for us also. Yeah, so I traveled a decent amount within Brazil, and then I also traveled to Uruguay and Argentina. So I got to visit like 3 new states that I hadn't been to before. So one of them was a state to the east called Minas Gerais. That's the 3rd biggest state in Brazil, I think. That was actually a trip that was organized by our UC staff there. I also did some trips around Brazil just like with my friends of my own accord. Then like I said, I also did a trip with some friends to go to Uruguay and Argentina. So it was kind of a spontaneous thing for us, which was a really cool way to do it. And I knew nothing about Uruguay before and very little about Argentina. But totally loved both of them. Honestly, for me, they were pretty hard, and I was doing it all in Portuguese. So it was definitely a lot to adjust to. I'm really glad that I did, because it really made me like step out of my comfort zone and like really get better about like going out and learning things on my own and getting my Portuguese a lot stronger. So one of the opportunities that like the local reciprocity department, like at my host university in Rio, offered, looking for people who were fluent in English and Portuguese, help with translation at a conference and to get paid for it. I saw that and just kind of signed up without really paying attention to what it was and responded right away and got a spot. Yeah, I'm still on track to graduate in June, 4 years. By going abroad for a whole semester in the fall during the fall quarter, I ended up getting 28 units. So like almost double what I'd be getting for staying here for a quarter. And those all counted to something towards my degree. So if anything, I think it might help me get a little ahead. But I'm planning on going and getting my master's. I'm also kind of considering trying to do grad school in Brazil. It definitely kind of showed me that I was interested in something that I wouldn't have really known about if I just stayed here. So being able to actually live there and feel like a Brazilian and not just feel like someone who was visiting, and having, you know, my local bakery, my local grocery store, things like that, actually knowing the people that I'd see on the street every day, and kind of having my routine, it just really made me feel like part of my culture and my family, and something that was really important to me. Well, I definitely recommend like learning Portuguese pretty well. Plenty of the people in the program didn't speak very good Portuguese and still got by totally fine and didn't have problems. But the more you know the language, I feel like the more you can really connect with the culture. And also just kind of doing some research into whether it's like the history or just kind of what some of the different regions of the place you're going, or I guess Brazil, are known for. If you're trying to go for the food and stuff, there's all the different regions are kind of known for different things. I'd also recommend to save money for it, not because Brazil is expensive, but because as soon as you're there, you want to go everywhere and do everything, and it does add up eventually. So there's one like UC coordinator for like all the UC students there, and she organized a lot of excursions and stuff, things like that. She takes out to nice restaurants around, or organized things like going to see a show or a play that a lot of us might not have done like by ourselves. And because those are all kind of part of the program, they were all free to us. She helped get people connected with the right resources through the university. So overall, there's a pretty extensive like support network there for us, and they were all awesome.